close enough. Close enough for, oh, there's some phrase. For those of you who are wondering what I'm rambling about, I was supposed to sign on at 8 a.m. and it's now 7:59 and some seconds. So I was early. What can I say? I'm excited to hang out with you guys, so I tuned in early. And I'm going to be here for the next hour or so. This was kind of funny. I almost tuned in. I almost created a YouTube live because I have a YouTube live coming up tonight at 8 p.m., 12 hours from now. And then I was like, wait a minute. I usually do a YouTube live in the evening. And then I looked down, and thank goodness I wrote it down. Judy Dukes, nice to see you. And Kat and Michelle and Becky and Armando and Hawkeye. God, you can tell there's my Boston accent coming out. I don't know, Johnny. But yeah, for a hot second there, I almost showed up on the wrong channel. I was going to be on like channel 56 as opposed to channel 38. If you know, you know. But here I am. Rock you, and I'm going to rock you like a hurricane. Maybe not. Nah, I don't really rock you like a hurricane. But here, I'm gonna color code what I do. I'm gonna feel good about what I'm doing. And good morning, Cat Mama. Alrighty, I was just printing out some tax documents. Good stuff, all good stuff. Okay, if you look for the good, you're gonna find the good. If you look for the bad, you're totally gonna find the bad. But if you look for the good, you're gonna find the good. So if we got out like our little Nancy Drew spy glasses, what do you call that? A magnifying glass. I should get one of those and, pretend like I have one. Like, I have this wicked funny picture of my niece. She's now 22 and a half. When she was little, and she had this magnifying glass that my mother had that she probably got from my grandmother. You know how old people get where you need to magnify things. And the way she was holding it up to her face, it made her face look giant. It was wicked funny. So good morning, Boston Sports Girl. I have my mug, you've got your glass, and yay for sunshine, huh? I love it. I am not ashamed to admit that I am affected by when the weather is good and when the weather is not so good. And it is easier for me to get out of bed when it is sunny out. I pretend that it's warm out, even though today I still bundled up and had like a scarf and gloves, but I went out for a walk, felt good, saw some things blooming, and yeah, so sunshine, ain't nothing wrong with saying I do better on a sunny day, because you know why? I've got sunshine on a cloudy day, right? Erin, good morning, it's been a minute. Now, every little bit helps is my mug of the day. It's backwards, so I'm practicing my backwards reading. The other one, so important, so important. Slow down, breathe down, write down, chunk down. Messages to myself, write them down. Use it in a sentence today. So good morning, Scrap Lover. All right. Well, I could find something to talk about. You know me, I can always make sure there's no dead air. There we go. Erin says, my mug also says, more good, less ungood. Yeah. What the world needs now is more good and less ungood. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. So I could sing about the Moona and the Juna and the Springa. I could ramble on about whatever's kind of spaghettiing around in my head, but only if I have to. What I would rather do is I would rather say, not to sound like I work at Pier 1, because I did, or Filene's, or wherever the hell I've worked in my life. How can I help you? Is there something that you're looking for that I can help you get to? Now, usually people say, no, I'm just looking. And maybe you are. Maybe you're just browsing. You just met me. Hey, I'm Beth. I'm right over here if you need anything. I'm a decluttering life coach. If that's what you're looking for, I can help you with that. The wicker is down there to the left. The lamp section is over there. Votive candles are over there near the placemat wall. I could probably, through my head, give you a walking tour of the Pier 1 Imports that used to be on Route 1 in Dedham, on the Dedham Plaza. But I won't do that, see? There we go. Okay, now this is cool. See, I love how we're getting to some good stuff here. Even that cat mama is saying, love this time, starting with your inspiration. A number of people over the past week, because I said I'm taking requests, have felt comfortable enough to ask for what they want and to say what is working for them. And one of the things that cat mama said was, love this time, starting with your inspiration. So today is what, an 8 a.m. start time. And I have like I will share with you. I have a list of people that said, I like 7 a.m., I like 8 a.m., and I like 9 a.m. Now, I am running that through my East Coast filter. And so I'm taking note of that. And so, for example, next week, where I have yet to schedule, frankly, the YouTube lives and the TikTok lives, next week in particular, I will make sure that there are some 7 a.m.s, 8 a.m.s, and 9 a.m.s. I also know that there are people who appreciate that one evening one, the quote late night, because it isn't really that late. It's like 8 p.m. And so I am happy to know that because I'm here to help. And if it helps you, if it makes it easier for you, if you like it when I show up at 7 a.m., 8 a.m., or 9 a.m., I will do a variety of those times. Okay, so we got an 8 a.m., we got Spreading Sunshine. Kim Christensen, nice. I'm glad you're listening to me at work. Hope it makes it easier. Tammy Lee, nice to see you. Okay, we got some 8 a.m.ers. Okay, noted. Now, I will share this. The week after that, it might change a little bit because I have the opportunity to do some traveling to another time zone, but it will be kind of a working vacation. So I will plan on still showing up and doing my one-on-one coaching and my YouTubes and TikTok lives, but they may be augmented based on my time zone. However, that is still in the tentative, that is in the seed planting stages, or the seed is possibly blooming. So I'll let you know if that blooms or not, okay? Yes, I love it. We got the 8 a.m.s. Yep, we got as I would say, because I'm about to say it, we have a wicked lot of 8 a.m.s. 8 a.m.s for the win. But we also do the 7 or the 8s. Okay, yay, that one persona. I was hoping you would love all the party times because you were one of the people who reached out to me, who said, hey, I can't do some of those times, but could you do it at this time? There we go. And here, Danielle, we're not, okay, so first of all, we're not timing a damn thing. We're just saying, hey, people are saying, hey, you know what? I like it when you show up at this time. At the beginning of the day, maybe a little motivational, celebrational, muppetational, motivational, gas in your tank, I guess I would say, kind of topping up your tank or maybe filling it a bit if you started kind of low. So that's what we're doing. Danielle, I will share, you and me both. We almost were both over on YouTube because unless I looked down at what I had written down, I would have showed up at the wrong place too. But then I remembered to double check. Up here works a lot, but it's not necessarily a 100% trustworthy place. It can be mistaken because it's thinking of other things. It's keeping track of a lot. I help out my brain. I love it. Lesbian Muppet, Muppetational. Yeah, It's time to play the music. It's time to light the lights. It's time to meet the Muppets on the Muppet Show tonight. Right? So, there we go. Love 8 a.m. or 7 or 8 p.m. Yep, so good. I see I'm covering. Now, I won't be able to be everything to everybody, nor do I care to. I like hanging out. It's a balance between what works for you and what works for me. Right? Okay, there we go. Damn it, Donna, 7 a.m. here. Now, here's the fun thing. I have probably on Tuesdays. Now, here's something you're going to learn about me. And I think it's just the way I'm wired and the way I flourish better. I can't even remember where this came up, but I can think easily back to high school when we were taught about like what classes to take to prepare for a life outside of school. I even knew back then in my early to mid-teens that I would not thrive on a rigid, consistent schedule, like a conveyor belt. That's one of the reasons I think that I flourished so well, and I did not mind working retail because pretty much every 2 weeks my schedule was different. I love that. So I will say to you that I will totally do some 7 a.m.s. They'll probably be on Tuesdays, but not all the time, but I will definitely put some 7 a.m.s there. So, so this is the good thing. I learned, even without kind of paying attention, there was something in me that said, this works good for you. This works well for you, regardless. And I was able to do something about it. I knew I never wanted to work in a Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, button down kind of world. In the button down world, no. I always wanted to do something different, and I did. I also did things to get me to where I wanted to go, which is like I didn't learn how to type until literally I was in my 30s. And stuff like that there. So I offer to you, the more you learn about yourself and feel good about it, feel good about who you are that you like, and know that there are things that you may have going on in your life, in your body, in your mind, your habits pretty much, that you can change, that you can do things to change them if you're bugged by them. Now again, I try not to talk in absolutes. That's a lot of black and white and 100%ing. But for the most part, kind of qualifying kind of like when people say allegedly, something's happening, that seems a bit suspect, but I say for the most part, I truly believe that if there are things that are going on that you don't like, that you can do something to change them. And that includes your habits. Now, habits are how you think, how you allow your thoughts to affect how you feel, the words in your head and the feelings in your heart, basically. And then based on the words in your head and the feelings in your heart, what you do with your hands. Now, I say it like that because I like to remind myself of things and keeping it simple. Like if I was writing a book, head, heart, hands, they all begin with H and they go from the top, bottom, and they go in that order. I have found that little catchphrase works well for me. Okay? See, Abbott Elementary. Now here, this is where I'm going to double check myself because I am human and I am not infallible. So I guess that would mean I'm fallible. You guys, no, hold on. Okay, yep. For a minute there, I was about to mea culpa. No, I was right. We're right. And it's cool. No harm, no foul. But Abbott Elementary, I too almost signed on to YouTube today. And then a little voice whispered, you might want to check. You might want to check. But you're here. We still have 48 minutes together. So let's make the most of our time together. Okay? So regardless of how you got here or when you got here, the fact of the matter is, boom, boom, as I often say to my husband, boom, there it is. We are here now. We are right here on this little road trip called life. And if the elevator tries to break you down, so here we are. My head often gets in the way of this. I have to remind myself of this. I have to get better. See, I need something to put my computer screen on so you can just see this without me ducking down. We are here. All of us are ideally heading towards a destination that we're excited about, no matter how big, how small. Yes, who am I? How did I get here? The unexamined life, when you don't even know how you got here. Yeah. And I will offer to you that it is good to look in the rearview mirror to see how you got here. Because how you got to wherever you are is habits. Habits, okay? And how you will continue to go in the same trajectory as if you don't change your habits, you're going to continue going kind of in a straight line. Because it's from where you were and here you are and you're just noticing it and you're not changing anything. So you're going to keep on going in the same trajectory. Now, if you dig where you're going, I highly recommend don't change a thing. Keep on going. Maintain. Stay on target. I don't know what that's from. Battlestar Galactica? No. Star Wars? Star Trek? I think it's the Wars. But if you are here and you're not digging where you're at, even changing something that seems somewhat inconsequential can, over the long term, really change the direction of where you go. So that's why I say be mindful of when you're changing something, see if it's still pointing, see if it's going to get you to where you want to go. Because you can just change stuff and not, like, this is strategy. Is saying, if I want to get there, what can I change now to get to where I want to go? And it may take a while. It's like losing weight. What's something little I can do to see if I, in 4 or 5, 6 months, have lost any weight? So make sure that when you are changing something, that you are pretty sure it's going to get you where you want to go. Yeah, and that one persona, hells to the yeah. Let's amplify it for the people in the back. Just because it has always been that way doesn't mean it has to stay that way. Oh, and she says, one of the great lessons you've helped me learn. Oh, me. No, but you know what? This is why I show up. I have a lot of wisdom. Thank God I got something to show for these years on the planet. I want to share it with you because these are the phrases that have helped me stop, hammer time, and say, I don't like what's going on in this aspect of my life. What can I do about it to change it? And one of the very first things is, well, not how do I want to change it? Because sometimes you don't know how to change it until you know what you want it to be more like. So you have something to aim it for, right? So I just want to offer to everybody that there are words that never were true. Hoping to help nobody but you. Words with lies inside. See, I still sing into my hand. It's a habit, you know? What can I change? Oceanana says, I can get up off my rear and get going, stop belly aching and just do it. Okay, Oceanana, you are still beating yourself up, my dear. You can leisurely get up off of that cushiony bum of yours that's keeping you comfortable when you sit. And you can slowly but surely enjoy the belly aching. You don't have to belly ache, you know, but notice when you're belly aching. We belly ache when there's something to complain about. So notice what you're complaining about. But here's the thing I want to offer to you, is a complaint is an indication of something that can be changed. A complaint is something that I lean into when I hear somebody finally complaining about something, because when you get to the root of the problem, what are you complaining about? That is the thing that we can look to see if we can change it. Yes. Judy Dukes, will this be available to be watched again? Yes, it will. It will be. And thank you for reminding me, because I have gotten out of the habit, it can be easy, of downloading the TikToks and uploading them. So I'm going to add that to my list. Give me a second. Download TikToks. Upload. Notice verb load to YouTube. And one of the things I have to do is make an April playlist. Make April playlist. Okay. So what I want to offer to you is, hold it. I had it. I climbed up the tree. I got up and I might have fallen down the tree. It'll come back to me. Yeah. Okay. Siobhan's saying doesn't fit. I don't need it. Yeah. Cool. Alrighty. Now, okay, start in a new job and realize this morning that it's helping my declutter my closet. Probably because you're opening your closet looking for work clothes, maybe. And if it doesn't fit, it's making it easier for you to let it go. I love that. I am all about making stuff easy, people. I am totally a work smarter, not harder kind of gal, if you know what I mean. I don't want to work hard. I want to work smart. Wicked smart, okay? I think this is what I was going to say when Judy Dukes was saying, is this going to be recorded? So yes, all of my lives are recorded and uploaded to Destination Decluttered on YouTube. And for those of you who haven't met me, hey, my name is Beth. I am a decluttering life coach, and my coaching is called Destination Decluttered. And the reason it's called that is because I like to think of life and pretty much everything as a road trip, and I'm in the car, and I have control over a lot more than I think I do, okay? Just like a road trip, okay? So one of the things I was going to say to Judy Dukes, and I'll say to all of you, I'm going to be very clear with you, totally not kidding. I say a lot of things that have helped me. I say them so that you can have them. You can collect the bon mots, the phrases, the inspirational sayings, the everyday things that would put on my 365, inspo calendar. Okay? So I say this for you, but I'm not going to write a book. Nah, I'm not going to write a book. So I suggest to you, listen to what I say, and the things that resonate, motorboat, remember that? The things that resonate with you, write them down. And I, again, offer to you, if now, when you're listening to me, isn't the time to write it down, I get that. That's why I record them, so you can rewatch them at a time and a place that's convenient for you to study them, because there's gold in them Bar Hills, people. There are true gems and gold just waiting for you to pick them up. And so I give you those. There's a treasure trove. There's a treasure chest of good stuff with every single one of my recorded videos, and that's why I have them for free up there. I don't want to be greedy with them. I'm here to share the wealth. Because when you realize that when you feel better, you do better, and there are things you can do to get yourself to feel better, I wish I had learned this stuff decades ago. I really do. It took me, I had such high resistance, I cannot even tell you. Because I grew up in a judgy, snarky, New England, fixed mindset, wary of earthy, crunchy, new agey, whatever it is, hippy dippy, healthy, change your life stuff. And so because I had such a resistance to self-help, even though I could have totally used it, it took me so long to not lower my resistance, but to realize there was something that I needed that all those decades weren't giving me. And then what I did was I started listening. And here's the deal. Pretty much what I say is similar to what a lot of other people are saying out there trying to do the self-help thing. However, it really depends to me on how they say it. And so when I found somebody who spoke in a language and a voice and stories that I resonated with, that's when the resistance fell and I was able to learn stuff, So I just offer to you. I hope how I'm doing it is helping you. I know it's helped many people. If it's you, yay. You've got a whole resource. And the reason I say this too, and I'm looking over at my other screen, is because the lives are where these things all kind of come out, but then we can capture it, and then you can sort through it. And if you are also a visual learner, you might be able to even better. If you watch them on YouTube, I bet you could turn on like subtitles or something. You could probably fast forward and back up and like, wait, what was that thing she said? And then back up and like write it down. So especially too when I'm not doing a live. And I'm not. I mean, tomorrow I leave for a trip, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Then I'm going away and I come back and I leave and I come back. That's just how I roll. But you're not being left alone without fodder, without this kind of thing. You can pop one on at a time that feels good to you. And there are over 650 of them. All right. There we go. Now I love it. Siobhan says, put it on the speakers while doing your action items. Yeah. How is it going to make it easier for you to benefit from what I'm doing right here? Notice I'm pausing to be quiet. That's so you can listen to how yourself saying, how would it make it easier for me? Okay? So, there was something, Donna, it totally reminds me of how I would say it up in Mass. Donna says, damn it, Donna. Once I changed the dialogue in my head is when I could see a vision. Yeah, and changing the dialogue in your head, this is how I think of it, is you have two voices in your head. Some people have called it like the angel and the devil, or your id and your super ego and all that kind of bloopity bloppity, whatever resonates with you. This is what resonates with me. Imagining I'm the driver in the car, but I'm just not driving there. No, I'm always being influenced by one of two voices and the interplay between the two of them. So if I'm in the driver's seat, usually the one that is fearful and unhelpful is the backseat driver. Now I picture my backseat driver, so I would like you to picture your backseat driver. Not as some scary, mean person, but a scared little kid trapped in a car seat, who all they're trying to do is keep you from changing because they're afraid that change can be dangerous. Change or danger. I just made that up. Okay? So that is one voice in your head is your backseat driver saying, no, don't, stop, slow down, turn away. That's usually the louder voice in our heads because that's how we're wired as humans. However, I used to think that was the only voice in my head. I also listened to the Smiths when I was a teen and in my 20s, so there you go, right? However, on the other hand, on the flip side, as Davy Jones said to Marsha Brady, there is an upside. There's got to be an upside. Who was that? That's another song. I digress. There is another voice in your car, and you know who they are? Right next to you. They're like your Sancho Panza. They are your sidekick. They are your wingman. They are your BFF on the road trip. They are your backseat driver is part of you. Your co-pilot is part of you. Oh, yesterday I was using my co-pilot mug. Oh, your co-pilot. Imagine being on a road trip and all you have is somebody in the back seat going, we're doomed. This is not good. We're not getting there. This is so unhealthy. This is not good. I'm scared. Turn away. Stop. Don't do that. What an awful road trip that would be, right? This is why it's good you can quiet them down and listen to your co-pilot. Now, when your backseat driver is speaking, usually your co-pilot is polite, so they're kind of waiting for this one in the back to quiet down so they have a moment to speak. They're being polite. They're waiting for somebody else and they're not interrupting. However, if you don't watch it, your backseat driver is on constant repeat. And this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and then ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. You have to interrupt them or they're just going to keep on going on and on. And when you interrupt them, you disrupt them. Wait, wait a minute. I was on a roll. I was being all negative and I'm on a roll, but you disrupted it. Whoa, okay. Then there's some quiet. Then there's a gap. Then that's when you want to turn up the volume on your co-pilot and listen to them. And you know what your co-pilot says? Love, love, love. Your co-pilot's one of the Beatles. You got this. You can do it. You're not too old. You are just right for the job. This is the perfect time in your life to stop doing that and start doing this. Let's experiment. Let's give it a shot. What do we got to lose? Wouldn't you rather look back on this time in your life as experimented and played and mucked around and found out more what works for you and what doesn't, than to be on your deathbed looking back at this time saying, damn it, Donna, I wish I had done that. I got the snacks. I got the songs. I've got a roadmap because I'm a co-pilot. I know how to get there. You just have to listen more to me and less to this negative Nelly and this, what's her name? Debbie Downer in the back seat. Listen more to me and trust me and less about the fear in the back than the love right here next to me. I'm showing you the way. Okay? Oh, won't you show me the way? Right? That's how it goes. All right? That's how it goes. Yeah. Crushed Coal is saying, how do I quiet these voices? I kind of illustrated that, but I let me be very clear about it. This is how you do it. This is how you do it. Everybody, this is how you do it. This is how you do it. This is how I do it. I notice them. I notice when they're running in the background, kind of like background music, and you don't even notice it, except when you start to feel crappy because all you hear is negative stuff. And what I do, this has been, you can stop them, hammer time, and just kind of try to problem solve it up here. And I like to think of this kind of like doing math until you're really good at doing it in your head. You need to do it on paper first. So what has worked for me, and this is how I coach my clients, so I will coach you as if you were a client. I take my 50-cent notebook from Staples. Oh, there's something written in the middle of there, I think. And I open it up to a clean page. Oh, okay. Wednesday, May 7th, I'm going on a trip. I open up to a clean page, okay? I fold that page in half to create 2 columns. This is about as crafty and as origami-y as I get. Okay, so 1 page, 2 columns, and then on the one hand, I write down, backseat drivers, and then I write fear, right? 1 column, backseat drivers, fear. On the other hand, and maybe I'll even emphasize the fact that there are 2 columns here, I will write down co-pilot, and I will write love, like that. See that right there? This is gold. This is gold right here. Then what I do is I don't just shut up my co-pilot. That is robbing you of some really good sight into what's making you stop doing things. What I do is I pretend I'm like a court reporter, and I say, okay, so what are you complaining about today? What are the things? And I just listen to the scared thoughts in my head, and I just write them down. I do not judge them. I don't try to talk back. I write until they have quieted down. And then it's not just I throw them up and say, oh, that's all the stuff I'm afraid about. Then here's where the important part is. Then I go back, and with each one of those lines, line by line, complaint by complaint, I address them. And I don't just address them logically, I address them heartfelt, connecting on that emotional level to quiet them down and make them feel understood and safe, and just they have the wrong way about it. And this counteracting of those specific things that I'm afraid of is my co-pilot. And now what I have done is I have turned up the volume. I have increased my vocabulary of when I start talking like that, I can stop that, and I can introduce this new phrase. Instead of that, I can say this. Instead of that, I disrupt it. I notice it. I disrupt it. There's a gap there. And then I start saying the opposite. And that's how I do it. Now, I'm pretty good at this now that it happens a lot automatically, kind of like when you learned how to drive. But when I first did this, I have pages and pages. I used to do this on my computer. I used to write it down. And I have a lot of those things from back in the day. And what you're going to find, okay, what you are going to find, and if you don't, let me know. This is why I call your backseat driver a scared little kid in a car seat, is that much like a little kid, they have a limited vocabulary. It's all fear-based, and it's all very little kid scared kind of words. So you will notice after you start listening to them and writing it down that the list is not infinite. It's the same stuff over and over again. And it's kind of cool to realize, oh, I'm afraid of people making fun of me. Okay. Oh, I'm afraid they're going to laugh at me. Oh, I'm afraid I'm going to get in trouble somehow. Oh, I'm afraid I don't have enough money. The same things are going to come up over and over again. And when you realize that, then you can find different ways to calm yourself down out of it. Okay? So, boom, look, free coaching right there. Hope that helps. Okay? So, there we go. Siobhan is going to go take a work test. She's going to ace it. Uplifting wisdom. I'm like a good bra. There we go. Okay? Yeah. Literally have songs on the Spotify playlist. Yeah. This is how we do it. I got to make sure that one's on there. I'm pretty sure it is, but here's a funny thing. This is how we do it. I went to go add a song to the Destination Decluttered Spotify playlist, of which there is a link on the secret page for the people on the mailing list. And it was already there. So I will see if it is. Yep. Interrupt and reframe. Yes. Or actually, here's an interesting thing. Crushed coal. I love working with the written language. I think it's fun to play with. And interrupt and refrain is too. Because you are refraining from, you are stopping it, refrain, but also the refrain is the part of the song that goes over and over again. So you can interrupt the refrain and then refrain from the refrain. Now that's where my goofy brain just goes, oh, isn't this kind of fun? You can think of it in 2 different ways and it kind of rhymes. You know? So that what I just showed you right there, the good news is Much like Judy was asking, is this something that is this is going to be not like, oh, it was there and it was elusive. One of the ways we keep what I just said out of the ether and more permanent is it's recording. Okay? It is recorded. And it is going to be on the Destination Decluttered YouTube playlist within the, or YouTube channel within the next 24 hours, because this time tomorrow, I will be driving to the airport. So I ain't going to be on there. So notice I gave myself a deadline. So do not worry. You can rely on me. I am reliable. I am trustworthy. I am worthy of your trust, because for the most part, I'm like 91, 99 and 100% and 44, 100% of the time, I do what I'm going to say and I say what I'm going to do. Okay? The other times is usually because I forgot. I was thinking about this the other day. This is probably my 3rd anniversary of doing YouTube or TikTok lives since I began this. And out of all of those times, there are 2 times that at once that I stopped early because I was feeling sick, and once where I started late because it seriously just completely, I screwed up on the time. It just totally went out of my head. Every single other time, 648 times, I have shown up when I said I was going to show up. Okay? Hey, Lori Hannah. Hey, I remember, Lori, you said you liked this, so here, this is for you.
You create your reality.
There we go.
Feed fear a suck-it sandwich.
Okay. This is from Jen Sincero. She was a coach that I followed and I still think is pretty cool. So Lori Hannah is in a different time zone. So it's only 5:30 here and still in bed getting inspired for the day. I love it. Getting yourself revved up before you get out of bed is a good way to get out of bed. So what's going to inspire you this morning? Okay? What's going to inspire you this morning to get out of bed? And what I would think is that aim for something good. Tell me something good. Bow, bow. You know, what's something you can aim for today, that you can plant a seed, that you can water a seed, that you can appreciate that the good stuff is growing up. It's springtime here on the East Coast and maybe other places too. So I'm all about blooming and seed planting and all that. Okay. So I want to get to 2 things real quick. Gen X Shelly B. Welcome. I am Gen X Beth. I'm not that. I'm actually just Beth from Destination Decluttered, but I am Gen X. And I am struggling with letting go of my mom's old things. Yeah, because you know why? Because our Gen X crew, all of us, are dealing with parents that are here, parents that are not here, and the stuff they left behind or are leaving behind. So, Shelly B, if we haven't met before, one thing that may help you with this is to think of your mom's stuff and your stuff. Everybody, think of your stuff in these 3 categories. You have surface stuff, you have stored stuff, and you have sentimental stuff. Surface, stored, sentimental. And when I say sentimental, notice where my hands are. Right above my bubs, right where my heart is. Sentimental stuff is the stuff that makes you feel a feeling in your heart, that tells you a story. And oftentimes, things that were owned by somebody you knew and that person has died, suddenly everything they owned has a story in them because it was owned by them. It would just be a drinking glass if they were alive or if it was on the, on the shelf of Crate and Barrel. But now it's the drinking glass that was owned by my friend who passed. That's the spoon my mom used. That's the whatever that used to be owned by somebody. But notice Gen X Shelly B, just so you notice, surface, stored, sentimental, going in that order, like head, heart, hands. Same thing, alliteration. I like that stuff. Start with the easy stuff. Do not start with the hard stuff unless you have built up your muscle and you know you can handle going through the sentimental stuff. If you don't feel like you can handle the sentimental stuff, if you're afraid, fear, backseat, is going to make you cry or feel feelings and you just can't, you don't want to do that right now, that's okay. I bet there are items of your mom's that are lower on the Richter scale of feeling than some of the really deep stuff. Oh, that's just one of those shirts she bought at Costco. I can more easily donate that than, here's the thing she wore when she got married. I don't know, I'm just making this stuff up. Okay, so notice A, you're not alone. B, there's a process you can go through. And C, take your time, do it right. Take your time. There is no race. There is no, I must be here by then. Your timeline is developed by you. Okay? Hope that helps. Hope that helps. Now, that one persona. This is how I got to be where I am as a person that has trust issues. I so appreciate you showing up when you say, and understandable that life happens too. Yes. I grew up with huge trust issues. I was then married to basically a liar. And so for years, somebody would say the sun is out, and I'd have to double check on my own. It took me a while to begin to trust people. Luckily, I am married to the most trustworthy guy, probably to the extreme, but he is worthy of my trust. And I started to heal my mistrust of people. And I know how important it is to show up when you say you're going to show up and not make excuses or whatever. But also, on those rare instances, you develop that life happens. You understand why people don't do it. So I am happy to be in your life to help you regain some trust in some people. Some people are not worthy of your trust. So don't trust them. Other people are. Now, this is why I am so crystal clear about when I will show up and when I won't. I make a schedule. I tell you sometimes I tell you when I've updated it, but you have access all the time to the secret page if you're on my mailing list, right? I also tell you, frankly, here's a fun thing, just scheduled all the April declutter parties. I will show up for those. And if I can't, and I scheduled something and then something unexpected happens where I can't fulfill my promise, and I will get the word out to say I'm not going to be there. Yeah, completely. And yes, Becky, on this process journey, also be kind to yourself completely, Okay. Oh, interesting. Erin says, speaking of timeline, my 18-year-old called me out. She pointed out that I am not making progress. Okay, hon. I can help you with that. I would offer, maybe if you're not making progress, how about getting the 18-year-old involved and saying, oh yeah? How about you helping out here, bub? Okay. So I give myself grace. Grace all over the place. Yes. But she noticed I run out of energy and just stop. Yes. I see this in you. Okay, she's away at college, but she's even noticing it from a distance. From a distance. Guys, think of yourself. Erin, everybody, think of yourself as a car with a finite gas tank. Your gas tank is limited to 20 gallons, let's say. I used to drive old cars. They used to be that many gallons. If you do not pay attention to yourself, if you do not watch your gas gauge going down, and notice when you start to get below half and then a third and then a quarter of an eighth, if you do not pay attention to what your signal is when you're almost at empty goes on and you blow past it, you will run gas till you're empty, and then you're going to be on the side of the road and you're going to stop because you have literally and metaphorically run out of gas. Knowing that, start to pay attention to you and always make sure that you have at least a quarter of a tank of gas in your tank. Do this for your car. Would you run your car to the ground and be on the side of the road and have to wait there for somebody in AAA with a little can in your hand? Do you do that for your car? Okay, if you do, I want to hear about it. But if you don't, what do you do to make sure that you don't run out of gas in your car? Okay, so if you run out of gas early and often, then shorten up the amount of time that you do decluttering. Also, if I still will say, yeah, that I'm not like calling you out. People, seriously, I mean, I used to work for other people. Do not give everybody else your all. Do not be afraid of showing up to work at 80%. Save 20% of you for yourself or more. You can, it is a self, if you are giving your all in other places, you will have less for yourself. Okay? So, yeah. Okay, I've always believed words have power, but I think I'm going to, okay. So what I want to offer to you is please pay attention to when you find your tank is emptying, and whatever you're doing, make sure you have a quarter of a tank so you can practice slowing down before you hit the wall. Okay? Practice noticing. If you were in your car and you were driving, you will occasionally be checking the gas tank level-y thingy. Okay? You will do things. You will pull back on when you will, how far you're going to drive. You will start to look for a gas station. You will pull up Gas Buddy. It's a really great app. Gas Buddy. Where's the closest gas station? Maybe you say, okay, let me go fill the tank I won't. Or let's even use this. Look at how modern I am. Like electric vehicles. I'm going to pull over. I'm going to plug in my car, and it's going to take a while for me to fill up my tank again. And I'm going to do something to fill my tank. Okay? But I will say, and especially people who are working for other people, you could be fired in a hot minute and they will not even blink. So if you're giving your all to somebody else, you stop doing it. Stop doing it. Save some of yourself for yourself. Yeah. And notice, people are noticing it. Erin's daughter from away is noticing it. Kate is saying, I'm the worst about saying yes to everyone, and my friends keep bringing me signs with no on them. Yeah, it is being noticed by other people. It is not just you. They are noticing it. And they are trying to help you in their way by bringing it to your attention. Hey, I am noticing that you're not doing something that's sustainable. Can you imagine every time you got in your car, if the only way you stopped your car wasn't by stopping and leaving it with a quarter tank, but running out of gas and stalling out on the side of the road? Can you imagine that's the only time you stopped was when you legit only stopped when you ran out of gas? That is going to seize up your engine. That is not a sustainable way to drive your car, because you're going to have to wait. You're going to have to wait for somebody to come by and pick you up. You're going to have to walk to the gas station. You're going to have to find a gas station. You're going to have to wait for the tow truck to come. And that time doesn't feel good because you're not recovering and you're spending all this time just trying to fill you up from empty. It's so much easier to fill your tank even to over halfway if you always leave a quarter of the tank full. Okay? So this is why I say destination decluttered, road trip, car. You wouldn't do this to a car you own. Why are you doing it to your physical and mental body? Stop it, Johnny. And you have the choice to stop it. If you are in the habit, you can change that habit. And it doesn't have to be slamming on the brakes. Okay, quarter of a tank. It can be noticing and slowing and noticing, slowing, and then doing something different. It can be planting the seeds. Today, when you go to work, do 1% less than you did yesterday. Notice how 1% less feels. Then you have 1% more in your tank, in your basket. Do it for a couple of weeks. Then increase it to 2% less. See if anybody else notices. Then 3%. You are all so good at your jobs that you could probably phone it in at not 100%, and a lot of people would be none the wiser. Okay? Yeah. And notice, Kate is saying it, and Mari is saying, I need to stop being a people pleaser and being a me pleaser. Yes. Yeah, notice the people pleasing. The fear of not pleasing others can keep you in fear mode, backseat driver, and fearing changing, saying they're going to notice. What are they going to know? What was that one? How are they going to know? They're going to know. They're not going to know. 1% less of what you do. Okay? Yeah, Rachel, why did you, and I am so adamant about this. And I was a manager, and I did not do that shit. When people were on vacation, I treated them like they were on vacation. But notice the fear behind you, Rachel. What were you afraid would happen if you said no to that meeting? I'm on vacation. I help you stand up for yourself, even when yourself, your scared backseat driver, is the one that says, you better take that meeting. What if they decide to fire you? They could fire you, and you have taken the meeting, and you didn't have your vacation time. Seriously, I'm here for you. And this may be as tough lovey as I get, but I say this with 100% pure love in my heart. That if you don't outsource the people that benefit from you giving your all don't have your best interests in mind. They have their best interests in mind. I have your best interest in mind because we're not in that kind of relationship. Okay? So please, everybody, today, one really good lesson to think about is, what can I do today with what I am doing, what I have scheduled already, to ensure that I have even an eighth of a tank of gas in my car before I go to bed? That I am not running myself till empty and then crashing and burning. What is something, because you can do something today. You can look at what you have scheduled. I'm looking at what I have scheduled. You know what I have done? I have scheduled breaks between every single one of my clients. I have scheduled my YouTube live at 8 p.m. tonight, not 10 p.m., because that's when I have no time. You can do something about this. I'm not going to say you should do something about this, but that's kind of my inference. But you can do something about it. Whether you do it or not is completely up to you. I leave that I put it right down there, and it's up to you to pick it up and take it with you and do something about it. I do not get into convincing energy. No. It doesn't work. Unless you get it, it's not going to last. If you're doing it for me because I convinced you, it will not have as much power as if you saying deep in yourself, I have to stop that and I'm going to start this. And it doesn't have to be a slam on the brakes kind of moment. It can be a incrementally slowing down from going 80 miles an hour today to 79 miles an hour, and then to 78 in a little while, and 76. And you slow it down so incrementally that the people around you don't even realize you're changing it, but you are saving more energy for yourself, right? It is really important. You are a person that should be pleased. Start with yourself, and you're going to be better for everybody. You know? Oh, Penny Luck Myers, that's so nice. She says, for those of you who aren't watching the comments, she says, I enjoy continuing to learn from you, and I have revealed so much power in me because I'm learning from you. That's why I show up. I truly feel, and I'm not just saying this, I truly feel like this is the right time. This is what I'm supposed to be doing right now, is reminding you of the power you have, that you can stop what you're doing, even if you have 50 plus years of 60, 70, 40, whatever age you have, even if you have decades worth of habitual doing what you have done, if it's not giving you what you want, even if it used to, you can change that now. You can stop it and you can start doing something else. And it doesn't have to be a dramatic cold turkey moment, a slamming on the brakes. No, you can ease up a little bit. You can do something today. And then you say, oh, okay, this feels better. I'm not so freaking exhausted when I'm waking up on Thursday because I went to bed with some energy left in my tank. But it's up to you to do it, my dears. I wish I could. You know that old saying, you can't put an old head on young shoulders? I'm trying to save you from the pain and the struggle that I went through. Okay? And I am. I truly feel like I am. I wish I could make that journey shorter for you, but the journey will not have as much long-lasting resonance until you show up for yourself. You can do it to please somebody else. Well, Beth said it, and I'm trying to please her, so I'm going to do this, but I really don't believe in it. Yeah, whatever. That has a short-term effect. Only when you see yourself as being somebody that is worthy of it and change, and you can change. And then the wonderful thing is, as Penny says, when you learn these things, when it starts to get embedded, and part of embedding a way of thinking is the repetition, is exposing yourself, not, wow, I'm exposing myself, right? But exposing yourself to new ideas and the repetition even of the same idea. If you watched every single one of my 650 videos, first of all, they're available for free on the YouTube channel. They are yours. Please use them. I don't watch them because this is how I live in my skin. This is how I talk to myself all the time. I don't need to watch it. But I say this to you because what you would notice is I say the same things over and over again. I say them in different ways to keep myself entertained, because if I was bored, I'd turn into a boring person, and I want to do that. But I also, the repetition, the showing up, helps you internalize these things in a way that feels organic to you. This is how political messaging works. They work and they say the same things over and over again. And they prey on your fear. I am talking to your co-pilot. I am talking to your best self. That part of you that's sitting there next to you in the driver's seat saying, you got this. Hopefully, I am quieting down your backseat drivers because I am showing you what it's like to be able to quiet them down. And Penny says, as you learn these things, then you can help your kids. You are leading somebody by example. When you learn a better way of doing things, a more sustainable way of doing it, so you're not running out of gas, your tank will get low, but then you stop and it will fill up because you stopped and do things that will fill up your tank. And then you'll use some energy and it will get low, and then you stop and you fill up, as opposed to I fill it up to 100% and then I use it all and I crash and burn and then I have to wait a while. Instead of being like the roller coaster, we're on the merry-go-round. Okay? Yeah. So, yeah. And Donna says the physical clutter has got to go so I can process the emotional and spiritual work I'm doing. And what I will offer to you, Donna 999, is you dealing with, not even getting rid of, dealing with your physical clutter will help you process the emotional and spiritual work. It is an add-on to it. It's not, I have to do this and then I do that. I declutter and then. It's a combo package, you know? Yeah. No, I love this. Penny Luckmeyer says, my kids are good co-pilots. I'm trying to be the co-pilot to my mom. I am. She's 84 years old, and I literally have to stop her from saying the unexamined thoughts she has and disrupt what she says and bring the facts into her life with my heart. Mom, that is not the case. You are safe. And that's really what we're all looking for, is safety. That we're not going to be killed or hurt. If you really want to get down to it, our fears are based in the fear of death and the fear of pain. Luckily, decluttering does not cause death unless you have something fall on you. So don't be one of those, what with the brothers, the Collier brothers, who, got their clutter fell on them and they died, right? But also there can be the fear of pain, but there's the pain that you avoid. You just avoid the bloom that happens on the other side. Okay? So I say this to you with love in my heart. I say this to you with love in my heart. I show up in no other way, And notice Penny. Penny and I have never met each other. She has shown up on these lives that I do, and she's watching the videos. This is not a one-stop shop. This is not a magic bullet. This is not a 5-pound get skinny quick scheme. This is slow and steady. This is incrementally changing and starting slowly. That's changing your trajectory so you're heading towards someplace you want to be. Penny says, my clutter was not always a good example, her clutter in the past, but the grace and support I always gave them is shining through. And as you learn about how you got cluttered, you are doing something different about it. Your kids are learning from you now. Yeah. And that one persona says, yes, the carousel, the merry-go-round has gentle ups and gentle downs. Because life has ups and downs. It does. As opposed to the twists and turns that make you sick. You know? Yeah. And the physical clutter was hiding in the emotional stuff. 100%. Yeah. And vice versa. Okay? All sorts of good stuff. Okay? So this is what I get into. Welcome to my world. Welcome to my world. Welcome to my brain. Thanks. I'm here all day. Table 17, your pizza's ready, right? Now, I live in this all the time, but to you in the outside world, it's 9 a.m. Now, this is what I do too. I am good at showing up when I promise to show up, and I am good at signing off when I sign off. Okay? Because boundaries make good habits. I could show up for forever and think I can, always have to reach everybody and I have to give you my all. I'm giving you a concentrated dose of this, and this should last you for the day. Okay? Now I'm going to sign off because I've got cool stuff I'm going to do. I've scheduled my day. I'm going to be off for the number of days, but you guys know, practicing boundaries. Kayla Danielle, you need boundaries? Boom, give yourself some boundaries, okay? That's what I'm doing. But a couple of things before I leave, so I may get over to 9:01. First of all, I will be doing a YouTube live tonight from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Then I am not doing lives at all, so do not come looking for me. You will be sorely disappointed. You will not find me live. However, there's the Memorex version, which is the YouTube channel Destination Decluttered. There are 650 videos, and unless you were at each one of those 650 videos when they were recorded live, they're going to be new to you. And a lot of them is going to be the same stuff, and it's going to be different. It's going to be different songs. I probably am wearing the same kind of clothes. I will not be around for a number of days. You're going to know that by being on the mailing list and checking the schedule. If you want access to the schedule, get on the mailing list. How to get on the mailing list? DestinationDecluttered, all one word, .com. I'll repeat that, DestinationDecluttered.com. Scroll down to the bottom of the homepage, put your email address in, promise you're not a robot, boom, you're in. You have access to this page. Now, speaking of this page, I will be updating the YouTube and TikTok live schedule for next week, but it's going to go as far as that because I'm not sure about what the next week has in store because it could actually change when I do these. But I keep you informed. You can trust me. And when you learn to trust others, you begin to trust yourself. Okay? So I'm going to sign off for now. I'll see some of you at 8 p.m. Eastern tonight. And if you like what you heard, again, Beth Destination Decluttered. I highly recommend, please do not follow me here on TikTok because I think TikTok's going to go away. I only show up doing these lives. You don't need to follow me to know that. You just need to have access to the TV guide, as I like to say. Okay? So you can do this. Even if it's 1% today, take 1% back from whatever you're doing and put it in your own energy tank, all right? Your own gas tank. And I'll check in with you tonight, okay?